Listen at 'em. Listen at 'em.
Hello, sports bettors. Welcome back to the Dimer Sports Betting Podcast. It's Greg and Dave. We got another fun show in store for you today. Dave, how are you?
Pretty good. Absolutely snowed in over the last couple days. Got like a pretty crazy blizzard up here. Got blessed by the wind though. It blew pretty much all the snow from my side of the street to my neighbors. So he got the worst part of it, and he ended up helping me instead of the other way around. So I owe him one. I got the ride-on mower. He doesn't. So maybe in the summer I'll pay him back in the other season. But doing all right here. But the snow is like up to my windows. So I'm looking right out the window at snow and no street. So it's pretty funny stuff here. And you're no stranger to that, obviously.
Yeah. Do you have any fun snowed in activities? I feel like that's a pivotal portion of being snowed in is like, what are we going to do all night when I'm just stuck with your significant other in a home? Although we're so blessed to have great significant others, Dave. Just saying.
Yeah, of course. We do puzzles. We do puzzles. We're on one right now. Started last night. So
very nice. Good for you. All right. Well, I have a little bit of better news weather-wise for you, I think. It's actually not bad in the Midwest. So hopefully you guys get through yours soon and this weather comes east very soon. It is freezing, but it's one of those days where it looks really nice out. So I walked outside in shorts this morning thinking it was going to be like 50 degrees and just froze my butt off for a couple hours.
It mentally helps you from inside, though, when it's at least sunny and not like dark and gloomy and cold. That's way worse.
Right. And as a college basketball aficionado, I can just smell March around the corner right now. It's coming. And we'll have plenty for you once it gets here. But on today's show, first, we'll take you through some wins from the weekend. We have a $2 million upgraded King of the Court tonight in the NBA world. It is another great Tuesday in college basketball. I have 3 picks for College Corner and another PGA Tour event on the horizon, the Cognizant Classic. But first, let's start with those things that you should have bet.
Should have bet that.
Our boy Tommy Fleetwood came through for us in the golf world, and you, I believe, cashed the ladder play.
Yeah, a little bit. Top 20, top 10 would have been nice if he finished off with the top 5. Honestly, he could have won that with how well he golfs early on, but kind of gave it away near the end. That's the game, though. A bit of a funky tournament getting near the end there. Jacob, we'll get into it with our recap, but a couple bad beats go our way in that final round. But yeah, Tommy Fleetwood, once again, our top edge of the entire tournament. That was in back-to-back weeks. He cashed top 20, top 10, top 5 last week, and then top 20, top 10 this week. Not quite as good of the odds on the top 20, whereas last week he was plus money and over a 60% probability for top 20. He was still over 65% for a top 20 this time, one of the best values on the board. And then over the weekend, a little NBA parlay action, just a nice little 2-legger. Maybe worked out that it was 2 legs. I couldn't find a third leg that I liked because we cashed plus 520 on 2 top scorers in their respective game. Just kind of one way to use the NBA Projections Hub. I wrote up an article about this on site. You could find up there just kind of 3 hidden markets you can find on Dimers, things that we don't outright project or offer looks at the odds for, but you can use that same data to find insights on those, including, statistical leaders in a game for the NBA. Victor Wembanyama, plus 100. He was our top projected scorer by like 8 points in that game. Wasn't even close. Got him at the plus money. And then KD projected the exact same points as Jalen Brunson, but at plus 210 compared to plus 130. Gives you a pretty good idea where the value is when you see that. And it worked pretty easily with these 2 guys. So just another way you can use the projections to your advantage. You can be rest assured we'll do stuff like this more often down the line, but something you can do on your own any day. Just fire up the tool and dig in.
Amazing. And then what is that? Little over 5-1 odds on that?
Yeah. Plus 520. Yep. Pretty
nice.
Good.
Very nice. Yeah.
Straight from the top of the board.
Let's do that more, Dave. I'm in. I'm excited. Let's run that around. Okay, Dimers Pro. By the way, you've heard me say it before if you listen to this program, but you need Dimers Pro to get all these insights in real time for yourself. Promo code podcast will get you 50% off of the great Dimers Pro if that is your first purchase. Take advantage and get in the app. we got a new app here at Dimers that looks fantastic, makes it easier than ever before to access all of this data in real time. I was doing it on my lunch break before we sat down to record this. I was just sitting scrolling in the kitchen on my phone, and it was just lovely. Like I said, makes it easy on you. So thank you, Dimers. Let's turn next to the NBA King of the Court. Like I said, $2 million prize pool tonight. If you are unfamiliar with the King of the Court promotion, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook, it's one of our favorites. You can bet $5 on any player prop market that you like. And if you use your King of the Court token on the bet and that player ends up leading all players in total points, rebounds, and assists, you and everyone who picked them will split the bonus bet pool. Normally, it is $1 million. Tonight, it is $2 million. And that gets me extra excited, Dave. So where do you want to start tonight for Tuesday?
I will start actually with a little tease. I don't know what I'm actually allowed to say in detail on this, but someone we work with text or slacked me a message earlier with some updates to King of the Court for the upcoming week. So I'm not going to say exactly what they are because I don't know if I could share it. But I will say it's going to be a better promo than its existence has been. It looks pretty much from now until the end of the season. And that's that. But we will see more about that in the individual weeks to come. But it should be improved, I believe, similar to how you are tonight in one way or another for the rest of the way to go. Hopefully we can just talk about that and it doesn't have to be a secret. But
I feel like
you guys will find out anyway.
I feel like I watched a movie trailer for like a movie I didn't even know was coming out. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much this summer. So yeah, it's actually spot on, Greg. But yeah, so start with that tease and then we'll jump into our five guys here. Pretty much as we always do with our top three overall, and then the two rather long shots that catch our eye based on the Dimers projections and the matchups. Starting with Luka Doncic here, once again sitting atop the projections, just under 50 PRA projected against the Magic at 49.0. He's won this promo 4 times this season, top 60 PRA in 3 of those, returned bonus bets of 25, 35, 36, and 41. He's always the man to beat on the slate if he's playing. Not going to have to make a lot of arguments to make the case for Luka. Since the All-Star break, he's given us a classic Luka game with 55 PRA and then one not so much Luka game with 33 PRA. Don't really read too much into that. It's going to happen night to night every once in a while. And you're just not going to find me making the case to fade Luka in this promo, aside from just the fact that if you want a bigger bonus bet, he did return 41 last time. That was the highest he had so far. It's a big slate. There is a good chance that it's going to be dispersed more than it would be on one of the 6-7 game slates we sometimes see on Tuesdays. But the only fade advice you'll get from me is if you want a bigger bonus bet, you just have to go with someone else traditionally. However, with LeBron and Austin Reeves healthy, the Lakers at full strength for now the better part of a couple weeks could just make these explosion games a little more difficult to come by, more mouths to feed. Realistically, you could say the other thing that it's just as likely to enhance Luka's overall upside as well. But you can make the case that any given night, one of 3 guys in this offense could realistically pace the game in PRA, let alone the entire slate. We've seen Austin Reeves do it. We've seen LeBron do it. But with all 3 in, it kind of becomes a little bit more of a toss-up. However, he's going to be the top overall upside play on the slate. Moving to Jalen Johnson, a guy who just won this promo in a couple weeks before the break. He's second in our projections against the Wizards at 46.0 PRA. One of the most complete stat stuffers in the league, taking his game to a whole nother level this season. Ranks 21st in points, 7th in rebounds, and 5th in assists in the entire NBA. True superstar now. He won this promo, like I said, in the weeks leading up to the break, split the pot with Cooper Flagg, returned a $63 bonus bet that night. I assume, no, it wouldn't have been just double because of Flagg. I guess it would have chopped proportionally to however many people bet on them, but obviously would have been higher than that in a solo win. Second time we got a guy who got the bet chopped, which is a little unfortunate, but he was our 3rd highest projected that night, 2nd highest projected here. What makes him really interesting is his upside is kind of unique in a way that he can post a slate winning performance on like a modest scoring night because his rebound and assist upside can be massive. I mean, 15, 16 rebounds isn't uncommon for him. 10, 11, 12 assists isn't either. His complimentary projections tonight, he's got 11.8 boards, 8.8 assists, Both of those lead the night, lead the slate. So not only his usual triple-double potential, but just how high his ceiling is, even with a massive 10-game slate saturated with players. He's getting the Wizards, who aren't the absolute bottom of the barrel defense they were earlier in the season, but they do rank dead last in opponent rebounds and are bottom 10 in points and assists allowed over their past 15 games. Pretty prime matchup for Jalen Johnson's all-around skill set. Go to our third guy in the top overall, Jaylen Brown against the Suns, projected for 42.6 PRA. He is questionable tonight, or listed game time decision with the right knee contusion. So I guess keep your eyes out on that. But he's been thriving as Boston's number one option with Tatum out. Scoring's gone up about 7 points per game, about an increase of 1 assist and 1 board per game since last season. Opened his play after the All-Star break. Pretty dominant lines, 23, 15, and 13, a 32, 8, and 7. So he flashed that. Pretty much need a 50-plus PRA performance to cash this promo. One time it was under, I believe it was 46 or 47 on a pretty quiet slate. That might have been the Trey Murphy, like $2,000 bonus bet return one. So if it's going under 50, it's going to be a long shot, almost guaranteed. We once again have him projected right near 30 points. He'll need to go over his, average peripherals to really hit the promo, but he's got a decent chance tonight, I think, against the Suns. They rank 23rd in opponent rebounds over their last 15, and Jaylen Brown's 7.2 rebounds projected tonight is hovering right around the other leaders in this game. No one is projected more than 7.5, at least last I looked. Hasn't really been negatively affected by Vooch's appearance on the board since they acquired him in the trade. A couple games he went low, and then a couple games he went high. Like I said, he had that 23, 15, and 13 game, and that was with Vooch since the trade. So it's got plenty of upside for Jaylen Brown. If he's healthy tonight, I do think he's kind of the more appealing to me of these top three because he should be a little bit more of a dark horse. And then a totally random stat on Jaylen Brown that I saw before this show. So he's averaging 29.2 points, 7.0 rebounds, 4.9 assists per game this year. Only 5 players listed at 6'6" or shorter have put up those numbers in a single season in history. And of those, only Russell Westbrook in 2016, 2017, and Michael Jordan in 88, 89 are the only players to do so in the last 40 years. So just kind of puts into perspective how much of a jump Jaylen Brown took this year with Jason Tatum sidelined and how he's really stepping into that role. I love those random stats, especially in the NBA. I think it's the best league for stuff like that.
He's a guy too. You can tell he relishes being the guy, and sometimes that, I don't know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad for your franchise when you have 2 stars, and clearly there is one that really cares about being the 1A guy. But I don't know. I think you would see other players in that spot sort of lament the fact that, your Batman is gone, Jason Tatum's out, whatever. Are we tanking? Are we not? Jaylen Brown was like, why would you even insinuate that? I'm a superstar. I will lead us to the promised land. It's been cool to watch.
Yeah, it really has. And it's paying dividends for the Celtics, who were once a very big long shot to even make not make the playoffs, but make the finals this season. And now they're right up there as the favorites, or with the favorites. So 2 long shots here catching my eye. Obviously plenty of guys out there. We're going just down to the top 12 and top 15 for this. First up, LaMelo Ball in Hornets versus Bulls, projected for 33.9 PRA. Pretty big eruption game just the other night, 37, 8, and 7 against the Wizards. Now he gets another similarly poor defense in Chicago. Bulls ranked 30th versus assists, 27th points, 18th in boards, and allowing the second worst 3-point percentage over the last 15. I've got a little beef with the Chicago defense after they didn't let Emmanuel quickly light him up last week. However, LaMelo Ball, or perhaps one of his teammates, is pretty likely to at least be taking the shots from deep against this exploitable team. We're projecting him for a slate high 3.6 threes, along with 8.6 assists. That's second overall in our projections. So 2 categories at the top of our leaderboards. And if that, along with a very positive matchup, doesn't signal potential slate leading upside, not really sure what else does. His performances can be volatile. Just take a look at his box scores, take a look at his game, watch him night to night. You'll see sometimes his stats are just all over the place. But if everything lines up, he should be in the mix, and this is a really good spot for him. If for whatever reason you don't like LaMelo, look at his teammates, Khan or Brandon Miller. all three of those guys have shown very impressive offensive performances this season and pretty well-rounded at that. So couldn't really go wrong with taking a long shot on any of them. LaMelo happens to be our top projected of the three. And then we'll close it out with Michael Porter Jr. in Nets versus Mavericks, projected just a little under LaMelo at 33.3 PRA. He's a long shot, but he's still inside our top 15. Is in a bit of a February slump here, primarily driven by like ice cold 3-point shooting, 16.3% in February. A very far cry from his 47.5% and 37.6% he was turning in December and January as season highs. And even before that, he wasn't shooting any worse than 34.5. So he's got to get right there, but might have a good chance to do so tonight. He's got sneaky rebounding upside, 2 double-doubles in the week leading up to the break. One of them was a 51 PRA game versus former team. And he's got career best numbers pretty much across the board, from points and threes to rebounds and assists and efficiency as well. Dallas ranks 25th in points, 26th in boards, 29th in opponent assists, bottom 10 in 3-point shooting, allow the third most threes to forwards per game. So this is as much of a get-right spot as MPJ is going to get. Obviously, he's got to shake off the rust. But if he does, we could be in business. Personally, this would be a ladder spot for me on a normal night. I don't know if I want to invest in a guy to climb the ladder when I'm looking for him to break his slump. But 4+ is about plus 120, 125 on DraftKings. 5+ at plus 272. Not a bad play for your at least king of the court entry, I think.
Not a bad play whatsoever. All right, great data here. I have a favorite amongst these, but you also have a new idea here that we're going to tack on to our king of the court analysis. We're going to do a little parlay on the fly, centered around all of the player props we just sort of floated as good matchups. So how many legs do you want to choose for this? Do you want one for each player, or how far do we want to go?
Let's do one on each player. It's a little long. It'll be a little risky, but it's we'll take a little lotto play here. We don't have to get, too safe with it. Let's have some fun.
I'm going to say the leg that I am most interested in here is already long enough. Should I just go right into it, Dave?
Yeah, we don't have to even go player by player. Just shout it out there.
So here's my favorite. Off everything you just presented, I'm all over this. I was looking at the projections and I was looking at game logs. I almost can't believe the price on this. I want Jalen Johnson triple-double. I mean, I'm looking at our projections right now. It's actually gone up from what you pulled in preparation for the show. He's now at 9.0 projected assists tonight. 26 points, 12.2 rebounds per our model. He is our model's highest projected rebounder, highest projected passer tonight, and I believe top 5 projected scorer or top 10 projected scorer. He does this all the time. He has 11 triple doubles on the year. You already laid out the matchup. The Wizards are basically bottom 10 in the league at preventing every single statistical category. It's a terrible defense, and this guy hunts triple doubles. It's plus money. It's not exactly the right anchor to build a parlay off of, but I want it in our parlay.
We're having fun. We're not looking to get rich or go crazy here. So I like that. And again, we're trying to use the projections like we talked about to find different angles, and if you're listening along and you want to tail us and you don't like the triple double, I guess you could go with the assists, but he's likely, he's more likely to hit the triple double than get a double double and not hit his rebounds. He's such an efficient rebounder. That seems unlikely. So,
I mean, our model predicts 6, 12, and 9 for a guy that's almost 3-1 to just get a triple double. Like, that's the expectation. We're 1 assist off of it. It's crazy.
Hey, he's almost 3-1 on was that on DraftKings?
Let me pull up the DraftKings odds again real quick.
I'll certainly that's good. I'll anchor it there then because
plus 260.
Yeah, that's notably better than the other book I was looking at.
I love it.
Call him out and throw the shade on him. All right, I'm gonna stick pretty much with the angle I was just talking about. Let me just check what the odds are, make sure they're not too gross on Michael Porter Jr. And I'll take him for 3 threes. I don't want to go all in on him, but let's see if he can start to get right tonight. Cash 3 threes against a team that's really struggled in that regard against the position. And if he can't get that, he's not going to win king of the court. So I'm pretty fine with taking him for that leg. Let's see.
Yep. Okay. I like it. Do we have updated odds on the fly here? I don't want to go
Yes,
crazy long.
we are plus 446.
Plus 446.
On 2
Okay,
legs.
I can work with that. I can work with that.
Oh, I think I know who I want next.
Ooh, I'm also this is live in DraftKings right now. I'm not seeing Jaylen Brown props.
Okay, so maybe he is trending more towards doubtful or questionable. That's okay. We could skip him then and just go 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't like heavily or doubtful, so I kept him in there. If someone's like trending towards not playing, I won't take a look at him. But
all right, we'll
sometimes
scratch.
that's temporary too.
We'll scratch JB. Let's go back to Luka here.
Yeah,
I'm
cool,
trying to go more conservative with our next Luka prop. Give me, you know what? Let's just tack on Luka 30+ points tonight.
That's a pretty good one to me. I mean, come on, it's King of the Court night, and he's won 4 times. Probably a good place to.
King of the Court night, Dave. There's a little twinkle in Luka's eye that he likes to deliver for his Luka fans.
He knows what it means. He knows he's the most popular guy on those nights. All right, so 30+ at minus 155.
Yep,
takes us right under 8-1 at plus 799. And I know exactly what I want on LaMelo. What did I say? You got the projections up right now, Greg?
Yes.
What's he at for assists?
We've got 8.7 projected LaMelo assists.
Easy. 8+ at minus 123, please.
Yep.
All right. That will get us 1530. And I like that. Let me I'll throw this bad boy up there real quick. Oh, that's the wrong window. There, I could probably combine this with you. Boom. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm feeling great about this. Almost
Jalen Johnson, triple, MPJ 3. Look at there's a nice little theme of 3 here. Almost. Luka Doncic 30, and then LaMelo 8 assists, minus 123. There's the connection. That's funny. But 1530, nice little 4-legger. That's fun. I almost always do one of these. One stat I like on each guy in the King of the Court to varying degrees of success tonight. Feeling pretty good about it because we only got 4 legs, so you can't miss by 1 on the 5-legger if you don't have 5 legs.
Yeah, thank you, Jaylen Brown, for being scratched and making it 1 leg easier on us to get to the finish line here. All right, I love it. That was fun. Thank you for all the prep work that goes into that. Let us know if you are tailing along with our King of the Court parlay tonight. Hit us up on social media. Hit us in the Dimers Discord, and let's get a little community squad ride going for Tuesday night. Okay, next up, let's turn our attention to another great Tuesday night in college hoops.
College Corner.
All right, we are back at it again. 2 weeks left in the regular season. Then things are going to really heat up with some postseason college basketball. But we've got 3 games tonight that the Dimers model is all over. High probability outcomes, even a sweet spot here that are already on my personal card. And I feel like they're great spots. Let's start in the SEC, where we have Kentucky minus 6.5 at South Carolina. Now, this is Kentucky's 3rd road game in their last 4 games. South Carolina is a bottom dweller in the SEC. They are the worst team analytically in that conference. They're 2nd worst in the standings, only 3 conference wins on the year. And importantly for Kentucky, this is about as back against the wall as they can get. They've lost 3 straight games. They played pretty well at Auburn over the weekend, but lost on basically a game-winning tip-in with 3 seconds left with some questionable calls down the stretch. Mark Pope's job has been under scrutiny in year 2 at Kentucky. His team has played hard for him, though. This isn't the first time. You think back to early in the non-conference, they were 9-6, and there were rumors he might be fired at the end of the year. He rattled off 8 wins in 9 games when it would have been very easy for an injury-ridden team to quit on their coach. It didn't happen. I think this is sort of the one spot on the schedule you circle if you're Kentucky and say, we need to deliver an A-plus performance and roll the worst team in the league here. South Carolina also with injury concerns of their own. Miles Studi, their best volume shooter, is out for this game, and he suffered an injury in the middle of last game. He's a key part of an already very limited South Carolina team. I think we see a response from Kentucky, a team that is bigger, stronger, more talented, and they go on the road and handle business and get a double digits win against South Carolina. Next up, it's that team that just beat Kentucky on that aforementioned game-winning shot late, Auburn. We're going to fade them here. I think this is one of the classic letdown spots following an emotional victory of sorts that I could say you didn't deserve. If you watch that game, Auburn really did get outplayed by Kentucky in their home arena, and yet they came away victorious, and now the story is how clutch they were. The real story should be that this Auburn team has lost 5 of 6 games. 5 straight coming into that Kentucky performance, and they did not deserve to win at home against Kentucky either. It's really been a team that has been reeling for the better part of a month. They really take a lot of tough shots offensively, and their defense has fallen all the way outside the top 100 nationally in adjusted defensive efficiency right now. They go on the road here, a tough travel spot from a Saturday to Tuesday turnaround to take on an Oklahoma team that is not good. Porter Moser well on the hot seat, but this is one of those games that your coach can win that can change the narrative on job status. We've seen Porter Moser go through this through recent years, and they almost always pick off a couple of these late. I think the Oklahoma offense, 29th in the sport, inside the top 70 in both 3-point percentage and 2-point percentage, can definitely take advantage of an Auburn defense that is trending in the wrong direction. You get the home dog here as well. I always say it, home dogs are not dogs. They're wolves. They're more dangerous. And I don't hate Oklahoma money line personally, but for the sake of College Corner, we'll go with the higher probability play, plus 2.5. And you'll pull up the graphic at the end of this for us, but this is a sweet spot play, courtesy of the Dimers model as well. Lastly, let's go out west to California, Battle of the Los Angeles schools here. UCLA playing host to the crosstown rival USC Trojans. Now, this USC team has been all over the map this season. They've lost 3 straight coming into this game, and it's due to personnel concerns. They've had so many injuries. Chad Baker-Mazara has been out. Earlier in the season, Rodney Rice, leading scorer, suffered a season-ending injury. They've basically turned their fate to the hands of freshman Elijah Arenas, who is Gilbert Arenas' son, mind you. And it hasn't exactly gone overly well. In fact, Elijah Arenas even missed a little bit of practice time in the last week. He's been playing through injury in their last 3, and I think you can tell he's shooting only 22% from 3-point range, 39% from 2-point range. He's been an inefficient mess all over the floor, and Eric Musselman's trusting him to sort of be a volume scorer for this team. The UCLA defense can take advantage of that. They've got great positional size. You just watch them play host to the #1 offense in the country, Illinois, over the weekend, and hold them under 30 points in the second half. It was a spirited performance with tough perimeter guards that can really cause problems for inefficient shot chuckers. I don't think this is a good night for Arenas, and I think this is a UCLA team we have seen be dominant at home that is sort of looking to pounce on an overmatched opponent. -7.5 feels pretty good to me. Add that to our card, and that is our full College Corner Tuesday picks. Kentucky up to -7.5 now, but you can see there is still a probability and an edge advantage that favor that play. Oklahoma plus 2.5, 56% probability, 3% edge in a sweet spot. And then the Bruins, also a sweet spot bet now, 55% probability, 2.9% edge.
Yeah, Kentucky may be up a point. UCLA looks like you can get it at 6.5. So you trade one for the other. Obviously, a little chop to the odds in the opposite direction, but still holding an edge and a strong probability from the model. Even higher probability with the lower point, but even better or better value at this number. So kind of choose your own, I guess, depending what book you have. Sometimes you don't get to choose. If you have the books, you could choose, but the Dimers model shows you a little edge in both. So.
Even better. Yeah, if we're getting an extra point with the Bruins, that probability is only going up from 55%, possibly up to 57%. So, all right, there you have it. Thank you, Dave, for allowing me to get the college picks off of my chest. Make sure you subscribe to this show for College Corner picks all season long. We've got 1 month left in the regular season. Conference tournaments are coming up. We'll have a bunch of coverage for you that week as well. And then it's Selection Sunday, and we're into postseason play, and we'll have plenty more in store for you. Next up, it's golf time. The Cognizant Classic this week. First, though, do you mind giving us a recap of what happened at the Genesis Invitational?
Yeah, a little run it back. So Jacob Bridgman wins it. Guy almost coughed up a 6-shot lead, a 99% Dimers model probability to win on day 4. Ends up going +1, and Kurt Kitayama goes -7. Still wins it by 1. Fortunately for him, that would have been pretty rough to take away from that. But he was a little bit of a value play on day 3 when he was tied. Had a 16% greater probability to win than his co-leader, who had just single digits. So congrats to anybody who found that live value on the site and grabbed it. Pre-tourney, we cashed the Fleetwood plays as mentioned. Ultimately suffered a slew of bad beats, particularly on day 4. A lot of it tied to Matt Fitzpatrick, who tumbled outside the top 5 earlier in the tournament to finish outside the top 20 and chop any placement value. Our head-to-head parlay looked like it was a wrap till the final day. Harris English sinks 5 birdies on the back 9 and beats Matt Fitzpatrick by 1, which is a pretty bad beat there. That was a nice 504, I think, head-to-head parlay. Looked like a nice bounce back from the week before where we had some tough breaks. Russell Henley was probably my favorite in this tournament. Never really had it going at all, which was disappointing. But hey, that's the game. We move on to the Cognizant Classic. So we're wrapping up, or we did wrap up the West Coast swing this past weekend with the Genesis. We're going all the way east to Florida, Palm Beach, for what is fully known as the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches, formerly known as the Honda Classic once upon a time. Just 3 years ago. But with the Arnold Palmer Invitational and the players coming up after this tournament, a lot of the big hitters are sitting this one out. Not a bad thing for us, as it's opened up a ton of value, if not the most attractive names, and a far more even split all the way down the board than we're used to seeing when there's obviously a Scheffler or McIlroy in the field. Scotty Scheffler was at one point in dead last in this tournament, by the way. Finished, I think, T12 at the end of the day. So I'm glad we're getting a week off from him. This should be a pretty wide open one, like I said, with the big guys not in this one. Probably a good one for live betting because of that. Got a nice 123 player field. Only 9 of the top 50 official world golf ranked golf guys are in play. So really, really, really lots of dark horses to take a look at. I'll pull up our predictions here as we get into the tournament itself and just give a quick rundown here of the course before we dive into the predictions. PGA National has a couple courses, but this is at the Champion course, which is a 7,233 yard par 71. Interestingly, until 2 years ago, average winning score here was 10 under. The couple of course changes in 2024 converted the 10th hole into a par 5, probably the most notable change. It's gone to a winner at -17 and -19 in the past 2 years since. So huge difference from what was formerly one of the harder courses on play or on the tour, has played now significantly easier over the last 2 seasons. And historically, the course itself echoes the wide open nature of this year's field in particular. All but 2 of the past 15 years, the winner has either been a pre-tourney favorite or a major long shot to win. 3 of the past 4 winners were plus 100 100 to 1 or longer. I would hope they were plus 100 or longer. 15 of these holes have water in play, pretty much the most dangerous on tour in that regard. Headlined by a fun part called the Bear Trap at the end, which is the 15th, 16th, and 17th holes. All have a key shot over water, 2 of them with a tee shot, another on approach. Because of that, key stats on this one are going to be strokes gained on approach and guys off the tee, as well as those who can avoid bogeys. Of course, getting birdies obviously very important on a tough course like this with so many hazards. Avoiding bogeys is going to be just as important, though we showed you the small scores over the last 2 years. You're going to have to find scoring opportunities to actually contend. So that's why ultimately course management will be probably the most important thing here. And again, why I encourage using the live predictions for this tournament, because you will find value on guys throughout the tournament. Guarantee it. Couple notable storylines. Brooks Koepka's back in the mix after a couple weeks off. His 9th appearance here. Co-favorite on the books, is still a top 3 guy for us, but decently lower probability than Shane Lowry, who leads. Ryan Gerard, he has a 4th place and T25 in 2 appearances here. He's the only guy inside the FedEx top 30 right now who's in this field. So a lot of the top scorers are not here. Even if they aren't high-ranked golfers, the guys who have been turning in the top results, taking it off, preparing for those big signature events coming up. All right, let's move into the golf and value because that's why we're all here. We want to know who's going to win this thing and return us some nice value en route to doing so. Shane Lowry is our top guy. He is the tournament favorite, co-favorite with Ryan Gerard, plus 1,900 at 6.9% to win. That would be fair at just plus 1,350, so a pretty nice edge there. He's got a T8 and a T24 to start the season with a first round 73 last week, not only keeping him out of upper placements as one of our golfers to watch at that tournament, but also his only round of 70 or higher through 2 events so far this year. So he started off in really good form. He's made all 8 cuts here, dating well back to its days as the Honda Classic. And in his last 4, he's gone solo second, T5, T4, and T11. So really great performance here in this event and at this specific course the last 2 years that he performed here. He ranks 19th on approach, 50th off the tee, 26th in strokes gained total so far in 2026. Distance is kind of not so flashy, but he's very accurate, and that's huge with all the water hazards. I expect we'll see him in here several times throughout the season, but this is the first time he's popped up with a clear edge pre-tournament. He's got it pretty much all the way through. No big flame here at top 20, but 52% plus 108 is an edge. Similarly here, and at top 5, this should be 23% plus 460. Probably about 350, I think, for that. So great edge all the way through. He's a ladder play. I will definitely be on him with his history here and the lack of competitive guys in this field. Moving to our next winner with value, Christian Bezuidenhout, 46-1 here at 3.4%. That'd be fair at plus 2840. So a really big edge as far as odds. He's got a mix of results to open the season: T38, T27, miscut at the Phoenix Open. This is his first start since that event. Similar results here: solo 42nd and a miscut in the last 2 years, or it was only 2 appearances rather, which happened to be the last 2 years. The second half of last year was really good. Bagged 2 top 10s in the fall events, 3 top 20s in June and July. Only missed 1 cut in the second half of the year, but just hasn't quite picked up where he left off this season. Not really the best course fit. Off the tee game is kind of rough, but he is a pretty accurate driver in spite of that. Finds the rough not nearly as often, which is good for him. Ranks 47th in the whole field in terms of accuracy, which is pretty well above average, despite his general off the tee game being below. Pretty good at bogey avoidance, which is important. We talked about that, but he doesn't birdie very much. And notably not on par 5s, where he's actually worse than 3s and 4s. So it doesn't really set up very well for this. Good model value, though. Just might be a bit of a risky play based on his game, which kind of is the theme for the next 3 winners, who are long shots, but the model shows an edge in them. One of those is Seamus Power right here. 67-1, 2.4%. Fair at plus 4,060. So another really big edge. Second Irishman who gets an edge here. Maybe there's a little theme there. The model likes the Irish guys at this course, perhaps. He's got some good results early in 2026. T31 and a T11, which is bookending a T63 at the American Express. But that T11 came after he shot 74 and 71 over the weekend at the Farmers. So he could have won that one if he put together a full 4 rounds. Certainly could have finished top 3, top 5. I'm highlighting him again because of his value here, and we're objective analysts with this data on the show. We try not to lean into gut stuff too much. We try to use the Dimers model and bring stuff to light, and that's what's showing here is a value. However, he's not made the cut in 4 tries here. 2 of those were plus 11, so not really good results here. Okay in accuracy, okay in distance off the tee, both above field average. He is doing well avoiding bogeys, so it's kind of an interesting case where his current form clashes with his course history, but the model's showing good value, and he might be a guy you should at least have a little bit on just in case he gets off to a hot start. Then you're not, because when guys get off to hot starts, you then want to get a piece of them, but it can be hard to stomach knowing you're getting half the value you could have pre-tournament. So just something to consider when a guy doesn't necessarily fit in terms of course history, but his form and the model show a potential path to success. One more guy here, same odds range, Sami Välimäki at plus 6,000, 2.2%. He'd be fair at plus 4,450. Hasn't really quite put it together this year. Another guy, kind of a theme with this tournament. 2 cuts to open the season. Then he got T41, T34, T37. So not bad, but not great either. Similar results with his history here, a cut and a T48 and 2 tries. He's got some issues with driving and approach that are a bit of a red flag. So he's another one I would approach with caution, as you're already getting such good value on him at this number. But just one of those guys that the model is objectively showing an edge on, even if he might not be the best fit. Like I said, it's been a lot of long shots who have come through here, so you never know exactly who's going to break through. Jacob Bridgman, the winner last year, is 300 to 1 and 0.2% from our model to win this time. It's got an extra level of unpredictability with who seems to break through at this tournament. So just something to consider, even if somebody doesn't seem like the best fit.
It's crazy, and also leads me to wonder, may I interest you in an 18-year-old kid named Blades? Because this kid has just caught my attention.
Yes, you can.
Largely, like you said, don't listen to our guts on this program. My gut is telling me I love Blades Brown. There's no value on him, though, I think, because the world is like me and wants to bet this kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's the exact same probability as Pat and Kazir, but not even half the odds. So, but I mean, 125 to 1, you could go wrong putting a pizza money bet on a guy to win, or at least, for like a top 20, top 10. I think we have him about 9% for a top 20. He's like 5 to 1. So again, no value there, but he's flashed some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, he's been cut a bunch of times. He's 18 years old though, at 11 events. He's got a T24 in his debut and a T18 this year at the American Express. So, you never know. And that's exactly, he's in that odds range of guys that have broken through. There are so many of them in this tournament. You go way down here to under 1%, you're going to find a bunch of stuff. But even up here, closer to the top of the board, Matt Kuchar, veteran with tons of experience, 1.6%, 100 to 1. But look who's around him: 60 to 1, 45 to 1, 45, 40, 50. Double the odds of the guys around here at the same probability. And that's, those are the guys who've been breaking. Chris Ventura, another one. Look at Daniel Berger, who's been really good at this tournament, but 1.3%, 33 to 1, 1.3%, 100 to 1. I would recommend look into these predictions. That would be my recommendation. I'm going to play Shane Lowry. I'm going to play Nikolai Højgaard, our second highest projected guy here, who's right about fair odds. No value, but fair odds. I'm going to ladder those two, and then my recommendation would be look in these predictions, try to find some of the guys who have these long shot odds compared to other ones around them, and see which of them perform well in these types of situations. Don't hit the water hazards, are really good scorers, and sprinkle very lightly, be responsible with it. But you could go so much more wrong than betting on some of these long shots based on who historically has won this tournament.
Yeah, it's a good week to try and find gold, it feels like. And that's exactly what the golf model from Dimers is intending to help you do. Like I said, I fall in love with Blades. I mean, you just look at the face of this kid. He looks like he should be in 6th grade, and he's out here shooting 68 in real tournaments. It's insane. Yeah. I like the Højgaard shout also. He's just in a field like this, he's just flat out one of the best there is. And I feel like he's right around fair odds from what I'm seeing this week. At least he's not nuked like some of the other big names here,
Yeah, he's not. You're just not getting really an edge, but you can't go wrong with him, at least in terms of, this is basically straight up fair odds pretty much all the way through the board. And you can do way worse than that, especially in a guy with, top 5 sportsbook favorite. That's usually where you're going to lose the most, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Some good stuff this week. Keep an eye out. We'll do some head-to-head stuff on site. Hopefully get some revenge from this past week. But yeah, as always, these predictions update every round, every day. So keep your eyes on them for the latest.
All right. Thank you, Dave. And one more personal question for you as we think about golf in the big picture right now. No Scotty Scheffler this week in a field like this. Many of the best are taking a week off. However, Scotty has not been Scotty for a couple weeks now. He's dug big holes in these tournaments and had to sort of chase from behind. He was in danger of missing the cut last week, as crazy as that sounds. So let me ask you this. Is something up with Scotty to your eye? And how do you think, honestly, how will the Dimers model react to some of these results from Scotty Scheffler?
I don't think there's really something up with him, especially because he's like immediately bouncing back and getting himself into the mix. I mean, he finished second a couple tournaments ago when he started with like a 72 or 73 to start, and he was way out there. But I do remember when we looked at his first tournament, his debut, I was like, he actually hadn't won in his first 5 or so events to start a season in pretty much his whole career. So he's not known for jumping out to incredible starts. And even a guy as good as Scotty is only going to win 4 or 5 times a year. Like, he can't win a dozen times. Can he? I don't know. Maybe he can, but I don't think anything's up with him. And I think the model at most, you'll just see it. You might see the probability drop. If his odds are dropping, it'll probably see something there, but I don't know if the sports books are going to give us a better price on Scotty Scheffler because he had a couple bad rounds, and that's the bigger takeaway for me.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I'm very curious to watch in future events that he suits up for. Do we still have him as, it's been recent. Like, he's such a big favorite and we still show value because that's how likely he is to win the tournament at like 3-1 odds. I'm curious to see if the model reacts the other way at all. And maybe we stop showing value, and maybe that's an indication there is something up with Scotty Scheffler. I don't know. I've seen the best in the world do it forever, but I can say this. It hasn't been his usual form in recent events this year. So what is he, a month removed from winning a tournament? This is probably a very small blip on the radar, but we'll see. All right. Thanks, Dave, for the golf re-up for us. Let's talk what else is on Dimers this week.
NHL, it's back, baby, on Wednesday after a fantastic Olympics. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you watched it. I hope you bet on it a little bit. The goal scorers were aplenty. Really great games all the way around. Nice USA pair of golds. No real, just beautiful stuff. But I missed my NHL. I'm sure all of you did as well, and it will be back tomorrow. Probably do some fun stuff content-wise for that. So look on site and social. Maybe a little goal score round robin, maybe a little trends parlay, maybe, I don't know, try to find the guys who are going to pick up hot after the Olympics and the guys who are maybe going to get off to a rough start. Will the Canadians come hungry, or will they be pissed and not really care for a few days? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But should be good games on Wednesday with a pretty stacked slate. More golf content, as I mentioned, coming. Look for another head-to-head parlay. Maybe look for a couple storyline pieces. It's a lot to turn around in just 2 days, but there's so much to take away from those predictions that I like to bring as much of it to light as I possibly can through content, even if it's just a social post and not a full article or something. So keep your eyes out for that. Of course, all the usual daily sports, full soccer slates this weekend, and tons of stuff, everything. Before we know it, we'll have baseball on here. Can't wait.
Cannot wait. Can Canadians be pissed?
It's actually also a really good question. There is a hilarious video of Nathan McKinnon getting the stuffed animal they were giving to the losers of every event. It was about the most Canadian, like, this sucks I've seen. It was pretty reserved. So
it was very funny. Yeah. I mean, what great gold medal game for hockey. It was electric. It was awesome. Great day to be an American hockey fan for sure. All right, Dave, thank you. This was fun. We will be back on Thursday on the Dimers Sports Betting Podcast. Gamble responsibly, everybody. We'll see you then.